Let's talk about Hellboy, the Crooked Band, #1. What do you guys think about this issue?
It's solid. The art is just absolutely fantastic.
Is Corbin?
It is Corbin, and it's fantastic. A lot of people complain about Hellboy being so dense and so like, it's like, I don't know what's going on. That's what I mean by a lot of people. My voice is very loud in my ear.
I have a couple of throats too, so it sounds like.
I know, you're like a tube and throat singer. What happens in here, though, is they can sing in dual harmonies. Yeah, a lot of tubans in the house tonight. Tubans in the house say, this takes place in 1958, so it's a younger Hellboy, and he's in Appalachia, so it's kind of a totally separate mythology that you don't have to know all the backstory of. And so it's nice. It's a simple story. Hellboy's hardly in it. He just stands around and is like listening to other characters talk. He's like, where do I shoot my gun? But he doesn't have to.
Yeah. This is a really, really enjoyable story. It is easy to pick up, even if you haven't read the rest of Hellboy, or any Hellboy, in fact, because it is its own story.
Plus, the other character kind of recaps Hellboy's history a little bit. So.
Yeah, there you go. So if you like Appalachia and you like witches, pick this up. Which is everybody.
That's not the kind to sell. I feel like the art is the art and the story are great, and it's a good chance to check out a Hellboy book.
Yeah, cool. Let's move on to talk about the last issue of The Atom, #25. This is really annoying, actually, because I love the Atom series. I love the new Atom. Love Rick Remender. Really wanted to see him get his legs on the title. And instead he got to write 3 or 4 issues and have to tie up probably about 5 or 6 plot threads, gigantic plot threads at least, in one issue, which he does not do. He just leaves it open, essentially, because he doesn't have enough time, which is very disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic case of this book was not selling well, so they canceled it. And they were like, let's do what we can to make it all make sense. And it doesn't quite do it. It just seems sloppy and thrown together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough issue. I mean, I haven't been that big of a fan, but since you've been talking about a lot of, I've started picking it up. I've been enjoying it, but I feel like there's just so much that's trying to tie up and so much happening. You're almost like, really? So yeah, it's tough to see though.
Yeah. Would you say pick up the series in trades?
The earlier issues, yeah, are very good.
Yeah.
A nice mix of like magic and science, and this is just insane. This part.
Cool. All right, last thing we're going to talk about on the stack is Jonah Hex. This is issue 33 with art by Darwin Cook. What do you guys think about this issue?
Well, Jonah Hex has just been a great example of doing one-shots and having them just, every single one of them be solid. Like, I've been picking up Jonah Hex for a while, and I've been loving every single one of them. There hasn't been any kind of like, oh, this one was kind of bad. They've all been really solid. And what's nice is Darwin Cook is an amazing artist. And it's sometimes when you get a new artist, it kind of pulls you out of the story. This just fits so nicely, and it's seamless. And it's just a solid comic.
It's a tough book because the character every issue is like, he's just walking around somewhere in the West, and this one takes place in the North. And
see, that's different.
Yeah, and that part's different. But he's like kind of in trouble, and then he gets out, and then someone wrongs him, and then the second half is like him going and shooting them.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't get old. You can read it over and over again. You're like, oh, this is still so good.
And I will say, this issue, I was like, oh yeah, he's probably going to kill those Canadian Mounties, and he does. But it's a nice twist, the way that this one's written. Yeah. I know it's weird to kill Mounties. That seems like kind of off limits.
Have you ever met Mounties?
On a group of them. When? Really?
I ran afoul of some Mounties once.
Wow. Awkward.
Brandon, question. What's the deal with the skin strip? Like, over his, like he's got a strip of skin here, right? Like connecting his lips, but.
I agree. I always think that's so weird. How would that happen?
And how would it not break? It's just like they just, we're messing with this like horrible scarred face. And
I think they've never said.
Yeah, they've never.
Yeah,
really
it's one of those things of just, we designed the characters and we're never going to say what happened.
Do you think it was like a melty, like a burn thing, like a melted face?
I don't know.
No. You probably made a weird face like that.
And it's stuck.
Oh, man.
Embarrassing.
Yeah, that happened. Never mind. All right, that's it for the stack. We're going to move on to the next section, my favorite section, because the section you guys make up. It's our audience questions, and for that, we're going to bring out Booth Bag.
Booth Bag!
the first Boothman.
That's right, the original.
Yeah, so, in fairness.
Boothman 1.
Boothman
Yeah.
1.
Yeah, check the handbook.
Universe 1, Boothman 1.
All right. Greg, can you please return to writing Hulk or tell Jeff Loeb to stop?
Oh,
Wow, slam!
Well,
let's rephrase that.
I'll dodge that by saying I will be writing the What If World War Hulk book, which is coming out fairly well. I think it's going to come out in December or something like that.
It's a great dodge.
But
Tell us
yeah,
more.
There's Nate Cosby is the editor. He's the assistant editor under Mark Team-Ups, and he called me up and he said, "How'd you like to do a What If World War Hulk story?" And I said, "I'd love to," and so we're doing it. The big premise is, what if Banner had been in charge during World War Hulk instead of Hulk? What if?
That's how all those what if guys done.
You should figure it out.
Yeah. All right here. But yeah, it's going to be awesome. We've got a great artist lined up who I'm not at liberty to disclose right now, but I'm very excited about this person. And yeah, and it's I get to work with my favorite Jolly Green Giant once again. Also, the Hulk will be making may make some appearances here and there, and some other books I'm doing. So keep your eyes open. Buy everything I write.
Read it slowly and twice. And sweet Jesus, let's get Jeff Loeb off the hook. Anyway.
Are we going to be seeing a powered-down, human, old, strong version of Skaar?
A powered-down, human, old, strong version of Skaar. You'll just have to keep reading to see. There's the background on that is that Skaar, son of Hulk, is the son of the Hulk, and Kyra the Old Strong. And Kyra the Old Strong is this woman warrior from the planet Skaar who has the old power, which is this kind of tectonic Earth-based power. She can turn to stone and apparently channel great force from the planet itself to smash people. But so the question is, in the pages of Skaar, we'll eventually reveal, which of these has Skaar inherited these powers? Which powers has he inherited? Is he also an old strong? Is he big and hulky all the time, or does he have a puny human version or puny gray skin version? Who knows? You'll have to keep reading every book I write.
We do know he's very angry.
Yes. Well, who wouldn't be being born on fire, raised by monsters?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I'm very angry.
He was born in a hot room and raised by
Nice people.
people from upstate New York. Similar.
Before I forget, who asked the first question? Who asked the first question? Anybody? You did? Here you go. Here's a poster. And who asked the second question? Yeah, here's a poster. Let's get the third question. See what happens.
What Marvel hero or villain, not the Hulk, would you most like to write Skaar fighting?
Oh, that's an awesome question. What Marvel hero or villain, not the Hulk? Skaar fighting. Well, I think there's some pretty cool. I'd love to see Skaar. I don't know if this is a fight, but I think there could be a pretty interesting story with Skaar and Betty Ross or Betty Banner, depending on whether she's using her married name.
Yeah, right.
But,
We'll get to the bottom of that.
Exactly. But there's interesting family dynamics there. I think Skaar and She-Hulk would be a great team up. In terms of just straight on fighting, probably there's something that had. Oh yeah, actually, well again, maybe this would be a better team up than a fight. But in the Mighty Marvel tradition, it could be a fight and then a team up. And then Skaar and X-23 somehow. That's,
that's what I was thinking. Well, there's a son of Wolverine.
There's Doc and son of Wolverine.
It's not very exciting.
Possibility. But X-23, I think there's something interesting about that. That's the female clone / daughter of Wolverine. That would be an interesting character for Skaar to encounter.
Have them fight some sort of outer space Wendigo.
Yes, daughter Wendigo.
There. The hermaphroditic child.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely make it hermaphroditic.
Actually, they'd Siamese twins. One boy and one girl.
If you want to write any of this down,
Yeah, it's all right.
There's a lot going on there.
I'm just going to actually work this into a kind of a backup story of What If World War.
Cool.
Who asked that question? Yeah.
Poster, nice.
Oh, there you go. Can you believe it? A poster.
Yeah.
Yeah.